right, everyone, welcome to this summer series edition of Kayleigh's Weather Workshop. Excited for you guys to join me. This week, we're going to take another step, maybe away from weather, but we're just talking science in general. And while we learn a little bit of science, we're going to make a sweet summer treat to cool us down from the heat that is outside. So we're going to be talking about the states of matter. We're going to be talking about three. We're going to solid, liquid, and gas. And to learn about them, we're going to make a root beer float. So first, the state of matter that an object is all depends on the atoms and molecules of that object. Everything that we see is made up of those atoms and molecules, and how tightly those molecules and atoms are packed together is what determines the state of that matter. So first, what you're going to need. I have a clear jar for us here. That's just so you guys can see what I'm doing. Yours doesn't have to be clear, but it's a little easier to see what's going on if it is. You need some ice cream of your choice. Just some vanilla works great. You need some root beer, an ice cream scoop, and of course have a few napkins lying around and a spoon and a straw to enjoy your lovely root beer float once we're all done. So first, what we're going to do is grab our ice cream scoop. You're going to get about however much ice cream you want and your root beer float. So this is going to act as our solid. So we're going to scoop that in here. So ice cream, while it does melt and it can be turned into a liquid, in this case it is frozen enough that it is a solid. So if we were to leave this ice cream alone in a cold room, it would not really melt. It would just stay solid. And that is how we determine if something is a solid. So all of this ice cream's molecules are very tightly packed, close together, and those molecules can't move around a whole lot. And that is why it is our solid. We can also consider our glass a solid if you want to. So we have that set here. Now our liquid is obviously our root beer here. So in a liquid, the molecules are still tightly packed together, but have a little bit more space in between those molecules. So you're going to go ahead and open her up. And when we look at a liquid tends to fill the container that it is put into. So any shaped container I were to pour this root beer into, it would fill it up from the bottom to the top. And the gas that we're going to see form is a reaction between our root beer and our ice cream. So when those two things react, we start to get some bubbles, and a lot of that is from our carbonation in our root beer here. And that gas is going to be the bubbles at the very top. Now, a gas has plenty of space between the molecules, and that allows them to move around very quickly. And you'll see when we have the bubbles at the very top, things are popping and fizzing, and you can hear it too if you're doing it at home as well. And that is how we see our gas. So here we go. We're going to make our little pour here, and there we are. Probably the ratio's a little off. I'll work on that. But you can see after we poured the liquid, it took the shape of the container that I poured it in from the bottom to the top of where I poured it. And then there is our gas. It's at the very top. There's lots of movement. If I put my ear down to it, I hear the hissing, I hear things popping, and those molecules are just moving around so incredibly, incredibly fast. And that is, again, just because of the space between each of those molecules. So there is our float. We are done with our experiment, and now you have a lovely, tasty, cool treat to cool down from the West Texas summer heat. I'll do a little taste test just so we know that it's good, but delicious as always, and fun and educational and super fun here in Kayleigh's Weather Workshop for our summer series edition of experiments. Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. And if you have any ideas for experiments or things that you want to see us do here in Kayleigh's Weather Workshop, please let me know and I'll try and design an experiment around it. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, y'all.